And welcome to the Comic Corner right here on the Agents of Fandom channel. What we do here is comic book news, reviews, and interviews. My name is Damon. I am your host. And today I'm just joined by AF. Unfortunately, TJ is not feeling very good this morning, so I hope you get better, buddy. But AF, good after evening to you. It's that weird time of year where it's still sunny in your window.
I love that. It is. By the end of this episode, it's probably going to look quite gloomy, and this room will probably need some extra light. So I'm going to have to put this selfie light a bit higher. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. The sun is still shining, which is weird for the end of April. I'm hoping for some rain. I'm probably going to be hoping for some rain for a while because the forecast doesn't really fill me with much confidence. But how are you?
Doing well. Just as we came on, the sun just decided to go right into my face right now. Thank God I'm not a vampire, else I would have just got cooked right there. Good gravy. But I'm doing well. It's a lovely Thursday morning. We're going to talk some comic books because this was a heavy week for me, at least for comics. We're just going to go right into it. An absolutely dominant week for Absolute DC. Absolute DC Comics, we've been talking about them here on the show ever since they debuted, ever since they were teased. And look, pun intended, they're absolutely fantastic. Every single one of them so far is, if not amazing, at the very least, very good. Right? We have not had a bad issue yet, in my opinion, of Absolute DC Comics. We're going to talk about Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter that came out this week. On the Marvel side, we got one Ultimate book. It's Ultimate Black Panther. And it just took a big swing, a big swing in that book. We will talk about that. And it's Doom's World, and I'm still reading it.
TJ will be proud. He will be proud of you.
Yeah, I'm still reading that one. Yeah. One World Under Doom. We'll talk about that. I'll give you my full thoughts on that one. But first, it's Free Comic Book Day. Not this Saturday, next Saturday. Free Comic Book Day. I love Free Comic Book Day. A lot of us love Free Comic Book Day. What is Free Comic Book Day for those who don't know? It is not the day you get to go into your comic book shop and every single thing there is free. That is not Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day is a celebration of comic shops. It's a celebration of comics. It's when all the major publishers, Boom, DC, Marvel, Image, all of them and more kind of go in and they give little essentially promotional comics that you can go in, pick up for free. Some shops may limit you to 3, 4, however many, and you can pick some up and see what's kind of coming up this year in comics. And it's very exciting. What it's also very good for is just for you to go out and support your local comic shop, which is what we strive to tell you to do here every single week on the Comic Corner. Go out and go find your local comic shop, comicshoplocator.com to find the closest one near you. And it also tells you if that shop participates in Free Comic Book Day as well. Most shops do, at least at some point. But we'll bring this up this week. AF, I had you go on a little scavenger hunt through all of the free comic books that are coming out on Free Comic Book Day. Give me 2 on your list for next Saturday that you're looking out for.
Yeah, so right off the bat, I'm a DC guy, so I'm looking at the all-in absolute special, and it's sort of a flip book. Is going to be, but the one that's attracting me the most is the sort of 0-issue precursor to Superman Unlimited. I know we are heading for a Superman of Summer over at DC because of the movie that's coming out. So yeah, I think it's going to be a. There is. It's a small movie that people might be going to the cinema for. But yeah, this is going to be a nice little curtain raiser for that. But also just the fact that we're getting more Superman literature. I'm seated.
What else? You had one more.
Oh, I thought we were doing 1 and 1. Okay, cool.
No, we'll just go back.
The other one I think is another one there's a movie releasing in July, and that's Fantastic Four. And Marvel is doing a Fantastic Four X-Men book.
Yes.
And it's I think also this is sort of previewing the all new what's it? all new, all different X-Men, and there's a new mutant that might be appearing in there, or maybe a familiar mutant that's going to be appearing over there. Who do you think that it's going to be? Who do you think that they are teasing over there?
Marvel. Like, they're teasing. So part of that book is that they're teasing this whole giant-sized X-Men going in, like Ms. Marvel kind of going through Marvel
Yep.
history, mutant history. So that's part of that book. I don't know if they're going to be bringing in a new mutant outside of her, or they're going to be like, hey, it's a new member. I don't know. We'll find out. Do you think it's just going to be Ms. Marvel, or do you think it's going to be like someone brand new?
I I don't know. Like, so for me, Miss Marvel, even though I love Kamala, I love Miss Marvel, it could be a bit of a letdown because of the way that they're teasing it.
Hmm.
So yeah, surprised
She's
me,
been a member
Marvel.
of the X-Men as of recent, so it's nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. My two books on the other side of Marvel. There's a Spider-Man book, whatever. But attached to that Spider-Man book is part of the Ultimate Universe continuation, and I'll be picking it up just for that. But I wanted to give a shout out to something that wasn't just Marvel, that wasn't just DC, because I love my horror comics, and horror comics are always popping. EC's been putting out like the terror books, the horror books, and they have one just for free comic book day. That's called Blood Type. A terror and a jugular vein. All in. Sure, gonna pick it up. Free comic. If you haven't been keeping up with the EC's horror titles and their suspense titles and all that stuff, definitely do so. It's an anthology. They have a bunch of anthology books, whether you want some sci-fi in your life, some horror in your life, and then maybe like a little, they kind of split between the terror and the horror. So you have different avenues of where you want to go. So EC's been all in on that. But yes, free comic book day, first Saturday in May, which is next Saturday. Go to your local comic shops. Go out, support. Whew. I've been hyping this book up. Absolute Wonder Woman #7. This is the second part of a two-part arc. This is written by Kelly Thompson, artist Mattia De Luis, letterer Rebecca Carey, and editor Chris Conroy. Again, the second part of a two-part arc with Mattia kind of coming in on the art, and Mattia's art, as always, splendid, superb, fantastic. All of the adjectives you want to say. It is. It's beautiful to look at. What's been going on in this book is after the events of the first arc, Diana gets thrown into hell, back into hell to be scolded by Hades himself. And in this issue, we see Diana fight a chimera tiger person in an arena that's set up by Hades, and it's essentially like you win this fight and then you get to choose two doors. And the beautiful thing about this, I need to bring up some names here because I'm horrendous with Greek mythology. This is where I wish TJ was here. But we get our first look at absolute Persephone, which is
Okay.
the Greek goddess her whole story, for those who don't know, is she's the one who like ate the pomegranate. For each seed of the pomegranate, you have to spend like several months in hell with Hades. Essentially, it was a big trap to get into Hades. And we see very, very, very early on a very young Diana met her. They talked. She told a story about how she was trapped there, and that plays a very important part later on. But one of the really cool things about this issue is Hayden Sherman's art is very painted, very lifelike, very realistic. When they're telling this story that Cersei gets, that she's telling Diana because she knows this is going to be a very important thing for Diana to learn in the future. She's essentially giving her fate. And they're telling the story and they're going back. The story is being told. If you remember the old Hercules movie, I think this is the best way to explain it. Do you remember how like they have like the pot and like the figures on the pot? And that's exactly
Yeah.
how the story is being portrayed here. So it's like it's an old Greek style, like where the story's going around the pot and stuff with the paint. It's a beautiful. But it's just rad, man. It's just rad. Like the way that Kelly dives so deep and respects and adores this Greek mythology, especially the underworld section of Greek mythology, which is so deep and rich, obviously. And how she's implying it to her story with Diana is just, it's like, it's genius. And I remember we talked to Kelly way earlier on, and she was like, I can't crack this. I can't crack this. And the second, essentially, she was like, what if we just put Diana in hell? It just opens up so many avenues to be like, what if a young Diana was in this story, essentially? What if she was affected by it? So in the end, I don't want to like get into full spoilers, but in the end, there's a story that Diana thinks she's the main character of in the story, but in reality, she's not. And it's just so well done. I love this book. Again, we go back and forth. TJ and I say it all the time, where it's like we get an absolute book in our hands, and we're like, this one's my favorite one. And then like the next week goes by, and it's like, no, this one's my favorite one. We're back on it, guys. Absolute Wonder Woman, my favorite absolute book.
Which was the one that was number one for you before you did this one this week?
The thing is Superman. Like it just keeps going. It just keeps going.
Yeah. So the thing is, I mean, there's no better character to sort of pivot into Greek mythology in the DC universe than Diana, than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's such a great marriage, and like you said, the moment she was put into hell, like everything kind of falls into place with it, because the possibilities are so endless. And I mean, to me, it seems like there's so many stories that can be told moving forward. They probably can't be an end in sight, because there's so much rich content and material and source material to draw from, in terms of Greek mythology and Greek history, for that matter. So yeah, like I'm only 4 issues in on this book, but everything that I've read thus far is amazing. Like you said, all the Absolute books. So I'm reading the big 3. I'm reading Absolute Flash as well. I haven't read Absolute Green Lantern and Absolute Martian Manhunter yet, but I will get there once those come out in trade form. But for now, I am extremely happy with what they are doing in the Absolute universe. And when I get to Challenges of the Unknown a bit later in the show, you'll understand why.
Ooh, I'm trying to find out when exactly the trade for this comes out. Doesn't say yet, but it should be soon.
Yeah, so I still have a subscription for weekly Wonder Woman's. The trades that I'm waiting for are Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. Bless you 3 times.
Thank you. Bless the mute button. Bless the mute button on that one, because no one needs to hear that on the podcast part. But no, I'll try to find out when the trade for that comes out, because this book is just it just rips. It's incredible. These last 2 issues, it's a 2-issue arc. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. All pun intended. Speaking of absolutely phenomenal, Absolute Martian Manhunter #1 was a book everyone was like so high on, like straight up giving like 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10s. And I was like, it's good. Maybe it was a little too weird for my liking. This brought me so far in on this. I am so in on this book. This is our Absolute Martian Manhunter #2, written by Denise Kemp, artist Javi Rodriguez, letterer Hassan Osmane Elau, associate editor Sabrina Fuchs, and editor Katie Kubert. Absolutely. So technically, Martian Manhunter is not what this character is at all. Like, this is the biggest twist on any character so far, whether it's an Ultimate book from Marvel or an Absolute book from DC. This is so far and unique, its own thing. John Johns is just like a guy, a CIA agent who just has like this thing living in his head, this omnipresent like voice living in his head, almost like a Venom symbiote, if you will. But he can't really like describe it than anything other than a Martian. And it's like he's not actually a Martian. It's just like this thing, a virus. And it's just like the closest thing in your brain I can get you to understand me is I'm a Martian. And it's just like, okay. And he's seeing thoughts in colors and emotions and colors go through all of it. This book is a trip. It is a trip. It is so unique, so well done. Javi Rodriguez on the art is just, it's like gorgeous, but so artistically creative in so many ways. If you liked Javi Rodriguez, Zatanna, Black Label, you'll really like this. This is just like Javi completely like unhinged type of thing. It's so creative, so well done. Love, 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 love this book. But when I say this isn't technically Martian Manhunter, is because they've never said Martian Manhunter yet. They have said something else, AF. He's the Martian mindfucker. Straight up.
They're actually saying that?
Bleeped out.
Okay.
Asterisked out. But
yeah,
the Martian mindfucker. So kind of like they show off this duo of the Martian and John Johns going out to deal with a situation. The situation as a whole, it's very unsubtle, but it's very well done also. In terms of just when you read it, you'll realize it. It's not subtle, but it's so well done. There's a guy who's essentially going around being like, there's aliens among us. They're all aliens. He's in a certain part of town where there's not a lot of white people. And he's just like, they're all aliens. And he's going around wreaking havoc. So what does the Martian mindfucker do? What's his power? He literally can go inside that dude's brain and trick that guy into thinking like, it's like say you didn't know me, but I'm going up and in the Martian is going through your brain, being like, you had a childhood friend. His name was Tommy.
So basically, it's reframing his memory.
Yeah, hey John, your name's Tommy now. I'll walk you through this. We'll go through everything. Like, I'm going through his memories. You see me going through his memories. You know everything I know now, and you know everything he knows.
Yeah.
So he can go through his brain and stuff and try to like trick him and be like, yeah, I'm your longtime friend and stuff. And while he's doing all that, the Martian's like going through his brain to try to look for some things and how to like solve some situations and essentially try to like help the guy. The guy essentially, this is a big spoiler, by the way. So if you don't want to know anything from here on out, go to the next chapter. Just mute this for a second. The reason this guy is acting up the way he is, he's so full like the lies and the deception of it all, is because there is a Martian in his brain that was infected him, AF. What do you think it is?
Is it to do with like the Omega power? Is it to do with any of...
No. The white Martians have invaded and they're trying to take over.
So
they're going
wait, so let me get this straight. So there's no linkage to John Johns as a Martian, but
correct.
They are white Martians. So
the word Martian, you can think of it symbiote, you can think of virus, you can, it's the only thing they can describe these beings to like to you and me, because it's like we're just like, we don't understand what you are, and they're just like, just call us Martians. And he's like, there's nothing on Mars. And it's like, yeah, we know, but it's like, it's just so Jen does recognize like his opposition though, and he's like, oh crap.
Yeah,
it's my opposition, it's the white Martians. And then it was like, oh, okay. So now they're trying to fend the world off from a white Martian invasion.
That's cool though.
Very unsubtle, but very good.
Yeah, it's like they are trying, like, because I mean, in a lot of these absolute books, there's some sort of like slight similarities to the main line, and then they have to obviously give it a twist and give it a bit of a pivot to make it its own thing. So yeah, like that's why I was a bit confused about like the whole Martian thing, but yeah, like I mean, to make it their own, very on brand for the absolute books, and it sounds amazing. It sounds like something that I'm definitely going to enjoy and probably eat all up
This
when
has
I get
already been
around to reading
expanded,
it.
I think, to 12 issues. It was supposed to be 6. They bumped it up to 12. If
Is
it keeps doing it, we'll keep going, just like the Poison Ivy book.
Yeah, is so everybody raved about the first issue. How was this book in comparison to that first one? Was it
It's
is it
looking
climbing up
like,
the ladder? Is it just like on a steady incline?
I wouldn't say it's on an incline because it was already at like just so high. And this one, again, I'm just looking at
Yeah.
general people's ratings, and it's like, a 4.8 average, which
Okay.
is excellent out of 5.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
it's being looked at right now as, and they weren't kidding. I think it was Scott Snyder who said he thinks this is going to win an Eisner. I get it. We're 2 issues in, but I get it. So there you go. Absolute Martian Manhunter #2. Excellent. Excellent. I'm all in on this book. I am DC all in on the Absolute books. All pun intended. Ultimate Black Panther #15. This is written by Brian Hill. Artist Stefano Caselli. Colorist David Curiel. Letterer Corey Pettit. Assistant editor Michelle Marchese. And editor Will Moss. There's an evil vibranium going around that's like cognizant in living in stuff. Vibranium is evil. See it that way. There's kind of like this evil thing going on with vibranium. Black Panther has to figure it out. And he's going around trying to find the people who tried to steal this dark, evil vibranium. It's conscious, as I should say. It's been conscious since very early on in this run. It's been slowly infecting T'Challa's brain, and he had to like get away from it because he's like, there's something weird going on with like our tech, our resource. Like, I need to investigate. So that's where the Sorcerer Supreme comes over and literally brings out like the entity that is inside of it. He's just kind of going around killing people now. So he has to go figure that out. It's a solid follow-up to that last issue, which was like a wild twist to this whole story, because so far, like prior to this whole evil vibranium stuff, it was essentially like Black Panther versus like Moon Knight slash Ra. And it was like that was the whole thing. And then this whole evil vibranium, living vibranium thing running around is like we're 2 issues in on that whole thing. So he's going around, he's trying to solve that. And the big twist here is that they think they found a vibranium type of portal to wherever these gods are. We're going huge swing now. And it's in the wrong hands. It's not in Wakanda's hands. It's in the wrong hands. It's in like the North American hands.
Ooh.
Bad things could be happening. So now he has to go handle that. That's the big swing here. This has definitely been one of the wildest Ultimate books. It's so funny because at the very beginning, when I read issue 1, I was like, oh, this just kind of reads like a Black Panther book. There isn't like that much different here. And now it's like, whoa.
One question. Why does this cover, or this image on the cover, why does he look like Batman?
He gives huge Batman vibes in this issue. I'm not gonna lie. He's giving huge Batman vibes in this issue, and it's because he has to now wear a suit that has no vibranium in it.
He's Black Panther. That's what he is.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving huge Batman vibes, especially in this issue. Like he has a guy grips him by the hand who's trying to shoot him. He's just like, you people and your guns always think they're gonna like do something. It's like, oh, that's a very Batman moment too.
That's
like,
cool though. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
So it's this Black Panther, T'Challa right now in this Ultimate Universe is running around with no vibranium because vibranium is very corrupted by this evil entity. Solid issue. I'm just looking forward to see where this is going to go with. Where we're going with this whole story. All right, AF. Back to DC. Your turn. Challengers of the Unknown #5. This is written by Chris Cantwell. Artist Sean Isaac, Sanamanke Nahulpan. Colorist Romulo Fajardo Jr. Letter Hassan Osmani Alau. Editor Chris Rosa and group editor Paul Kaminsky. This is the final issue of Challengers of the Unknown. First of all, for those who haven't been keeping up, what is Challengers of the Unknown? What's been going on with this book? And how does it wrap up?
Yeah, so Challenges of the Unknown, they a group of sort of researchers. I think that's the best way to put it. They don't have powers. They are just normal human beings that have been affiliated with the Justice League to investigate unknown entities in the universe. So that's on Earth, in outer space. So this majority of this series takes place on the Watchtower, on the Justice League Watchtower, and all of the challenges are over there. So there are 5 main characters, but the entire challenges group is about like 100 people, because they are just, it's just such a vast um, sort of full to this team. Like in terms of, there's researchers, there are robotics experts, there are astronomers. There's so many of them. But okay, so what is actually happening over here? The whole thing with Darkseid happened in the All In special. The Absolute Universe was created. Obviously, everybody in the All In universe doesn't know about that. So they go and try and find all of these Omega signatures all over the universe. And one by one, each main character of the challenges gets locked up by Mr. Terrific, because he just feels something's off. And in issue 4, you find out that everybody that has been in contact with some of the Omega signatures has a bit of Omega power inside of them. So the Omega power of Darkseid lived in 4 of the challenges, and then it just spread to all of the challenges except for one, and that is Rocky, who is on this cover over here. And the reason why it didn't affect him is because he doesn't fear death. He's just like, he hasn't welcomed death. He's like very much pro-life and all of those things. So it was a fun issue, and the one moment where they try to find out why this is happening, Diana uses her lasso on all of the challenges that have been infected. And Damon, what is the one word they all shout out?
Omega. Absolute.
Absolute.
Ah, that's great.
Every single one of them, they just keep on chanting it over and over and over. They keep chanting absolute. That basically opens the door up to so much possibility over here. And at the starting of the book, Mr. Terrific says that he was visited by the Phantom Stranger, and the Phantom Stranger said that the challenges of the unknown, they will be the gateway, they will be the door to the next journey. So I think this just opens it up completely. And the end of the book also says the challenges will show up within the All In universe sporadically across all of the books. There's
The
one
challengers
part
of the unknown will return.
that's exactly what I thought. In some of the final panels, so the part of the Watchtower sort of explodes, and Rocky and Altivac, the challenges sort of droid robot. It's like their version of Ultron, essentially. And he wants death. He wants this Omega power. He feels that there's no Omega power, because Darkseid isn't there. He feels like this sort of void. But then Rocky tries to basically he gets him back, essentially. And then it just ends off with the two of them disappearing. But in the top corner of the last panel, one of the last panels, you see Skeets, Booster Gold's Skeets. And he transports them to another plane. And they get to that plane and they were like, oh, there's Challenger's Tower. There's the building that we're normally in. But that makes no sense. Challenger's Tower was destroyed. How is it still here? And then we have it to be continued. So are they in the past? Are they in the absolute universe? Dude, this book was so good. These 5 issues was so good.
It's funny how it's like DC will sometimes just put out like a book like this, like Challenge of the Unknown, where it's like not a whole lot of people know or may pick this up, and yet it will play like a huge part in their story going forward. With all due respect to like the Green Arrow book that kind of happened in like the Absolute Power stuff. So it's like it's just kind of funny how DC just does that sometimes. My one question here is a question I bring this up in the comic shop quite often. When inevitably we get Absolute Crisis, trademark, copyright, whatever you want to do with that, how cooked is the main universe? Because like, how are they going to compete?
Absolutely no chance. They have absolutely no chance. And by the time that happens, we're probably going to get some more Absolute heroes. I think they probably still going to take another year introducing more Absolute heroes to us. So yeah, when that roster is filled up completely, then RIP mainline, whatever, what do you call Earth One?
Yeah, Earth Zero, Earth One, whatever. Goodbye. I mean, I'll be fine if Diana of Hell becomes just like the main Diana, to be completely honest. That may not be a hot take. I do not know. Sticking with DC, this is Zatanna, number 3, written and drawn by Chris Campbell, letters by Ariana Mayer, assistant editor Jillian Grant, and senior editor Brittany Holzer. This is a book I know I should be reading, but I just had like a 11 issue pull list this week, so something like it just had to go, unfortunately. What's been going on in this book, AF? Tell me what am I missing out on?
Dude, the fact that you said that and the fact that I had that exact same thought while I was reading this issue, I'm like scrolling through the pages and I'm like, why on earth is Damon not reading this? This is right up his alley. Like, it's got horror, it's got magic, it's got blood, it's got everything that Damon would absolutely eat up. I don't understand, but hopefully you get around to reading it eventually. Diana, like at the end of issue 1, I think I didn't cover issue 2. I think I only covered issue 1 for this one, but she got stabbed right through the chest after being double crossed and betrayed by one of her friends, Adam, who is in a stage crew. And yeah, she's been trying to get the sword out of her chest because physically it's gone, but there's the magic that they use to get that sword in her chest is so powerful that physically it was removed, but it's still remnants
So
in her chest.
you're saying it's a soul sword. We're saying it's a soul sword. All right, Zatanna Rasputin, what you got for me?
It's not a soul sword, Damon. This is DC. It's their own thing. Just let them be. Anyways, so yeah, every time she uses a spell to try and get rid of the sword, it just like digs itself deeper into it. She can't do her normal spells anymore because it gets messed up, and she tries to teleport to some place to get rid of it. And where does she go? She goes into some alternate vision.
She goes to limbo
type thing.
Limbo.
It's not really limbo.
It's limbo.
She goes to it's this isn't Marvel, Damon. But she goes to a world that Clayface created. You didn't expect that, did you?
Oh, so we're calling it Klimbo?
Okay. So there's Clayface. There is Bruce Wayne. He is this egotistic philanthropist, like normal Bruce Wayne.
I was gonna say, okay, so Bruce Wayne, go on.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like he's Batman in this sort of vision. But yeah, Clayface sort of constructed this plane for himself because he obviously lost his family and stuff like this, and everybody he loves is in the sort of dream vision. But Zatanna finds herself there, Lady in White, who was from the first issue. She's sort of pulling the strings here with this whole thing. But yeah, she eventually breaks free, and she finds out that the Adam that killed her in the first issue wasn't actually the Adam, it was some sort of clone demon type thing. And the Adam that was her friend, was a stage member, is dead, bleeding out in his apartment, blood gushing everywhere. And the person pulling the strings out of all of this is Brother Knight. You know, one of the big demons, one of the big guys in the underworld. So yeah, it was fun. Jamal Campbell, amazing writer, but the art in here, there were some panels I didn't even need to read because the art was so good, it basically just filled the picture up for me. I really didn't even need to read the words because I knew what was going on. The art was amazing.
I'm so glad to see Jamal Campbell back doing art in the book. He did the Superman run very early on before stepping away, and I love Jamal's art on that book. So I'm glad to see he's doing art in this book. This will just unfortunately have to be one I'll have to pick up in a trade and a collected edition to kind of catch up with. But sounds fun. Sounds right up my alley.
I'm just glad that Zatanna has a mainline series. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we got the Black Label one a few months ago, but this one will eventually tie into the All In stuff as well. So yeah, I'm glad that she's getting the spotlight over here.
For sure. I'm going to do a little bit of a lightning round. I'm going to try to be lightning quick on this, on all of these, because I have a bunch of books I wanted to get into. First one, One World Under Doom, number 3. This is written by Ryan North, artist R.B. Silver, colorist David Curiel, and letterer Travis Lanham. This is Marvel's 9-month-long event main series book. And let me just say one thing. Enough with these really long events, Marvel. We just did it with Blood Hunt. It went on way too long. This one already, let me be honest with this. This is how I felt about this One World Under Doom stuff so far. I read the first issue. Didn't care for it. I read the second issue, though, because I saw that Valeria was in it and we had Doom. That issue brought me back in, and I loved it. And it was essentially Valeria and Doom going back and forth defending democracy, which is hilarious. Valeria defending it against Doom. And this issue, I'm back to just being like, okay. I'm trying to figure out why. What's the common denominator here? And here it is. You ready, AF? When Ryan North writes Doom, when Ryan North writes the Fantastic Four in anyone in the F4 family, it's great. Kills it. When Ryan North writes the Avengers, who are playing a big part in the series, no. It just doesn't work for me. Here's what happens in this book. The Avengers fight Doom. Doom wins.
That's all?
Yeah. Avengers fight Doom, Doom wins, and Doom makes the Avengers look stupid in front of the whole world.
So what would you have changed in terms of this? Like they probably have specific creative sort of guidelines that are sent to them from the top in terms of what they would like to see in their books.
Look, the big twist, the big twist here. Yeah, the big twist here is that the Avengers teamed up with like a weird little Sinister Six that included like MODOK and Madeline Pryor and Arcade, the guy who does Murder World. Like they teamed up with just like some evil people because they got desperate, right? And they're like, we tried strategizing against Doom, we failed. Duh. We tried reasoning against Doom, we failed. Duh. Let's just punch him in the face. Well, Doom showed up first on his Doom T-Rex and punched them in the face. And then made them all look stupid in the process. So it's like, I think this is just a case of what I was making before, where some things don't need to be 9 months. And the frustrating thing is, I may be back into it because the next issue is Doom taking on Dormammu. And I feel like that will be interesting.
But
I mean, One World Under Doom is just kind of like Doom being like, I'm the best, I'm God, I'm Emperor God. Here's me being cool.
But also, so I mean, the MCU has Doomsday coming up. The fact that they're making this a 9-month event, I think that they're trying to get people prepared as much as possible for this character. some people like, I mean, some people don't know who Doctor Doom is, like in his full extent. So, I mean, have a 9 month event. Like, not that I'm saying that it's a great idea, um, but that's the only thing that sounds plausible to me. That's the only thing that sounds like, okay, we'll make this 9 months. By the time this event ends, everybody will be getting up and hyped up for Doomsday, which is releasing in a year's time. So yeah, that's all I got.
We'll see. Unfortunately, I think I might give this one more issue just because it's Doom having to be Sorcerer Supreme and take on Dormammu, and I want to see how Doom handles that
Do you,
differently. Strangewood.
yeah, do you, is there a writer you think who you think could have done better in this book?
I just don't think we need the Avengers.
Okay.
Keep it F4, keep it Doom,
Yeah.
and North is in his bag. He
Yeah.
had like some lines with Wanda specifically where I'm like, Wanda would never say that. It was just like, it's like things like in that realm that just felt completely out of character. Um, oh
Ryan
yeah,
North
she called Mysterio a big nerd. I'm like, okay, Moon Knight.
So like he has these like small stories at the end of every TVA book that's come out, and those stories have literally been centered around Miss Minutes, Doc Lock, and Sir Seconds. So I mean he has a lot of humor in his writing as well. So I don't know if that maybe didn't translate well in certain instances during this book.
Yeah, it's just this book's just. I feel like 9 months is too long. Too long. Too long.
Yeah.
Magik, number 4, written by Ashley Allen, artist German Peralta, colorist Arthur Hesley, letterer Ariana Mayer, assistant editor Noah Sharma, and editor Darren Shan. This is the penultimate issue of this first arc of this ongoing series, Magic's very first ongoing series. And we have
You
a
can bring up the
Danny
Soul
Moon.
Sword now. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I'm bringing up the Soul Sword now. She surfed on it. How cool is that? 10 out of 10 moment. They're falling. So Danny Moonstar's in this issue. Some demons kind of going out and about trying to take over the world, separating the Dark Child from Ileana and doing all that stuff. Fun issue. Fun issue. My biggest criticisms of this run so far has been some of the dialogue, but I feel like the dialogue in this issue was much better and improved. So good news there. The art from German Peralta is like 10 out of 10. Incredible, incredible art. Absolutely adore it. Love it. It's beautiful to look at. Action sequences are great. We see Ileana with the soul sword slice some demons in half. We see Danny Moonstar with her cool bow and arrow psionic abilities that she's like linking up her nightmare mutant ability with these arrows to take on these demons. Very cool. And in the end, it's the biggest criticisms I've seen with people who are folks who haven't read a whole lot of Ileana, who haven't read a whole lot of Danny Moonstar, because they bring up a lot of things in the past. A ton of things in the past, mostly the hits. But if you aren't familiar with it, you may be lost and you may be confused and be like, is this stuff actually happen? Are they just making up on the fly? Most of the stuff they bring up actually happens. So it's good. It's solid. I'm honestly more curious to see where we're going for with this series after this arc, because I do know we're getting a Madeline Pryor issue. My big thing, though, AF, I'll be quick on this, is that they separated Ileana from Limbo a year or two ago. Madeline Pryor, the queen of Limbo, Ileana saying, I'm done with it. They still bring up Limbo a lot with her. Like, she still has some sort of power there, even though she shouldn't. And that goes back to Jed McKay's X-Men book as well. I just kind of want a little bit of like a clarification on what her role still is with Limbo, because she says like, I'm done with it. When I use my stepping discs, I don't see it anymore, even though in some comics since then I have definitely seen her go through Limbo. So I'm like, what's going on? Where's the continuity here? But nitpicking. Minor Arcana. from Jeff Lemire. This is from Boom Studios. This is issue number 6, written by Jeff Lemire. Art from Jeff Lemire. Letters Steve Wands, assistant editor Maya Bollinger, and editor Eric Harburn. Every time I bring up this series, I mention the fact that Jeff Lemire says this is his love letter to Vertigo comics of his youth. This follows Teresa, who is the daughter of a psychic. She apparently has psychic abilities of her own and is kind of going around town trying to solve all these weird little quirky things. And a lot of the people in this town represent different tarot cards. And each person in each tarot card, we're kind of going through it. Like the very first arc, I know in the top right hand corner, it's like highlighted 1, 2, 3, 4. It's highlighted 2. On my physical copy, we're still highlighted 1, which is interesting because this is more of like a bottle episode, if you will, a bottle issue, a single one-off issue. This is the first issue since January. We've been away from it for the last few months. So I don't know if that was like a mess up on the printer's part or what part, but this is supposed to begin to set up the next arc. And we see Teresa go visit her ex-girlfriend, Alex, who she had like a big blow up in a few issues ago. And they're just kind of like talking, going back and forth, making amends. Alex still has like her kid, and she goes through her kid's mind, and all this stuff happens. Still solid, fun book. The first issue of officially of the next arc is actually next issue 7. So yeah, Minor Arcana. I dig this book. I love Jeff Lemire's art. I love Jeff Lemire's take on things. If you haven't read Black Hammer, absolutely do so. That is his love letter to superhero comics. And I know there's been rumors of a Black Hammer television show coming out eventually. That will be incredible. Like Invincible, The Boys level of hype should be put on that show. Jeff Lemire does some great work.
What is that about? Just by the
Black Hammer?
Yeah.
It's hard to get into it without spoiling many things. But it's essentially superheroes who were great superheroes of their time. And a big thing happened. They essentially got trapped in a dimension town where they don't have their powers anymore. And a lot of the time they're just kind of like reminiscing on things. They're reliving the same day over and over and over again. It's very redundant, very repetitive. So it's cool. It's real cool.
Intriguing.
You gotta read it. It takes a little bit to like figure out what's going on in that book. But
is that Boom as well?
No, Dark Horse.
Okay. Cool.
Dark Horse. But definitely go check that out. It's one of my favorites. Adam Barnhart, shout out Adam Barnhart, got me on that book. And that's why I'm giving this Minor Arcana as much leeway as possible. Like, I'm just going to keep reading it because I trust in Jeff Lemire. He's a great, great, great writer. And I know eventually all these pieces that he's been putting up are going to fall together. It's going to be like, oh my God, this is genius. And he has full leeway to tell this entire story here. So I'm giving him the runway. I'm on for the ride. Lilith number 3, ladies and gentlemen, finally came out. It's the last issue AF came out in December. There's been
why are they taking so long between?
It's printed. Is the printing production issues. It has nothing to do with Vault directly. It has nothing to do with Corin. Everything on her end, their end, done. It was just the printing issues have been a mess. This is written by Corin Howell, artist Corin Howell, colorist Warnia K. Sahadua, and letter Jim Campbell. It's no secret. If you want a book like this, you're going to love a book like this. It's sexy. It's dark. It's super fun. Pretty gory. But it follows Lilith, who is like, a demon lady trapped on Earth. She has no way to get back to her realm. But this girl over here, Penelope, actually has the secret book that has all the spells. So she could go back home if she wants. And she has to kind of make friends with someone she would never, ever, ever make friends with. In the process, there's some people from her hellish realm that are trying to go and kill her because everyone in that realm hates her. And some hijinks ensue. And it's a lot of fun. She eats guys. He literally just like eats guys in bathtubs, and it's just like, dinner.
Wait, eat guys in bathtubs?
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Just blood's got to go somewhere.
that's a fair point. As he reluctantly agrees.
It's a super fun book, though. Corin's art in here, fantastic. The humor, very fun. It's Lilith. What more do you want?
Yeah,
I'm just glad that this third issue finally came out.
Yeah, I think the only time I've ever seen any sort of Lilith content, and that's not going into this comic book, but that was in the Supernatural TV show, and that was pretty gruesome for a cable show. So yeah, if there's no holds barred and you get free reign, then you can do whatever you want, and you can chow down guys in a bathtub, I guess.
Heck yeah. Most of them deserve it. Most of them. Next week comics. One book I do want to shout out, not shout out, but unfortunately just mention. I'm not going to go into a Hush 2 review like we did last time. I read this week's issue. I am off that book. I gave it 2 issues. No, thank you.
Which
Sorry.
one?
Hush 2, the Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, that one. The Jeff Loeb and...
Yeah, Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee. Look, Jim Lee's art in there. Great. It's like, it's Batman for people who haven't read Batman in the last 10, 15 years. So it's just a lot of the stuff. It's like, this is repetitive.
But like that, remember back when it was announced and we spoke about the news, I said some people will hold on to it because of nostalgia. And I think that will still be their selling point. Some people still want Batman from 10 years ago. And that's probably going to be their target market.
It's like we're dealing with Batman Jason stuff all over again in that book. It's like, okay. All right. Anyway, next week's books. Technically, Free Comic Book Day is next week, but again, as we mentioned, those come out on Saturday. So not Wednesday, Saturday. It's Jeff Into the Jeff Purse trade paperback, baby. Let's go. But Doom's Division #2, I get more Arrow, I get more Wave. I'm a happy me. Something is Killing the Children is back next week. Can't wait. Alongside Stephanie Phillips, Grimm is back next week. 2 books right up my alley. We'll absolutely be discussing those. But last and very much not least, Ultimate Spider-Man #16. To me, the best comic on the shelves. It's very, like, at the very least, the best superhero book on the shelf. Ultimate Spider-Man is incredible. AF, what you got next week?
Yeah, so like my pull for next week is only TVA #5 or #6. I don't know, #5. But other than that, like the books that dropped this week that I'll probably be getting next week is I've been catching up with The Flash. So issue 20 dropped this week. Green Arrow 23, Superman 25, Justice League Unlimited #6. I'm very curious about that one with all of those past versions of the Legion of Doom coming in. So I can't wait to see how that one pans out. But unfortunately, I won't be on the show next week because I will be at Comic-Con Cape Town the first day. Lots of cool creators going to be there. Jim Chung, Adam Kubert, Loda Braga, Sean Isaacs from Challenges of the Unknown. So yeah, it's going to be cool to get to chat to them and have a fun time.
It's going to be great. Hopefully make some contacts, get Sean back on the show again. You can go check our interview with Sean Isaacs from a while ago when he was doing Green Arrow, and he was just coming off of Thunderbolts, where he designed Hawkeye's current suit that he's still wearing today. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Again, one last reminder, everyone. Free Comic Book Day is next Saturday. go to your local comic shop. Go to comicshoplocator.com to find the closest comic shop near you. Maybe make a little road trip out of it. It's a Saturday. I know so many people who go around from town to town to town to comic shop, maybe picking up some books, whether they're free or, as I like to say, go get some stuff too. Because the comic shops, they do a lot to put this on. Go support them, pick up a trade. A lot of them have sales, deals, whatever. Pick up a new book off the shelf. Pick up Ultimate Spider-Man if you haven't yet, everyone. AF, I'm looking at you.
I'm getting Marvel Unlimited for that, so.
Okay. I'm waiting for you to catch up. It's fantastic.
Yep.
All right, I'll do it for this issue of the Comic Corner. As always, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. If you have any books coming out next week that you're keeping an eye on for that we haven't brought up yet, let us know and we'll talk about it. We will talk about it. We'll be back again next week, everyone. Again, go out, go support, go find, go buy, go see everything from Free Comic Book Day and at your local comic shop. Until next time.